Right. Welcome back to the advent of Fortran. It's time for day 6. Day 5 was definitely a step up compared to the first 4 days. So if this difficulty is maintained, I probably won't be able to keep up this pace, but let's see what day 6 is like. First of all, I'll make my new folder. Don't know what the test input is. Guess it's just this. Maybe it's all of these. I have to copy those one by one. Save this as input.txt in day 6. Okay. I would also like to touch up my template file because I like what I did with the preprocessor definitions on day 5, so I want that to be part of the template. By that, I mean this block. So before, I was just setting the name of the input file inside the main program. That's okay when you're only changing the input file name, but when you're changing other things like the capacities of arrays and the sizes of arrays, it's easier to use a preprocessor definition so that you can have all of these constants defined together at compile time. So I'm going to put that in the template. I also want utils. And I need to change the main program. Yeah. So I need to get rid of this in main. I want to start out with the test. This was the actual input. What am I doing? I didn't copy it. There we go. That's what I wanted. So I think those are all the changes I wanted to make to the template, so I'm done with that for now. And I'm ready to work on day 6. So let's see what the elves are up to today. Bear with me while I awkwardly read this in silence. There we go. They're finally using some Fortran terminology. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the term subroutine comes from Fortran. I think that's the first programming language that used subroutine as a keyword, like you see there. input just one line? Yeah, the input is one line of text that's 4,095 characters long. Okay. So part 1 sounds straightforward enough. I just have to find the first set of 4 characters where all 4 characters are unique. So in the test that happens here, and the last character is character 7. So gonna need to, there are different ways you could do this. You could read the file one character at a time into memory, and then your memory usage would only be like 4 bytes. Or you could read the entire line into a single string and then process the string in memory. It's only 4 kilobytes, so let's do it that way. It's not too hard. I think that's a power of 2, right? And that's 1 more than the input, so that should be fine. Oh, I actually didn't want all of that in the template. So let me quickly delete that stuff from the template too. This time, only the input file changes. I don't need to set any other capacities at runtime. I'll just leave this at 4096 for both the test and the actual data. So that's the string, and now there's only 1 line in the file, so I don't actually need a loop here. I'll make this a parameter. N is the size of the substring that I have to process. So we're working on 4 characters at a time. So N is 4. And C is going to be an array that contains a substring of S. Do I want to make it an array? I think I'll make it a string instead of an array. Might be slightly simpler. So I'm going to iterate from the start of the string, even though the question is asking where the index of the end of the substring is. So I'm going to loop from 1 to the size -4. I think that's right. I might have an off by 1 error in here. And then C is going to be a substring of S, I plus 4. No, it's I plus 3. How do I want to do this? Just use the preprocessor. Will that work? Yeah. call the answer ANS instead of ISUM. So am I iterating through every group of 4 characters? MJQJ, GSML. No, I'm off by 1. So I'm missing the last group of 4. That's easy enough to fix. SMLB. That's the last quartet of 4 characters. Now I just need to figure out if all of the characters are unique. Should I make a function? Yeah, what the hell? Might as well make a function. Still leaving a lot of magic numbers in here. So 3 should be n-1. And that's going to be the answer because they're interested in the index of the last character, which for this is 7. It's not 3, it's 3 plus 4, so that's 7. Or that this should not. Yeah, -1, right? Anyway, I need to implement the unique function. This is actually a string, so I'm going to call it S, not C. And we'll check this by brute force. If it's unique, that means every pair of characters is distinct. So we just have to have 2 nested loops. And then if 2 characters, I don't need to loop like this, I only need to loop through I-1, because I don't want to compare a character to itself, because then everything is going to show up as not unique. So if 2 characters are the same, then it's not unique, and we can break out of the loops and return. Not unique, and we can break out of the function and return. So let's see if that's right. 30, that's not right. Yeah. Then I can break out of this loop too, because I want to stop as soon as I find the first unique marker of 4 characters. And that's it. So let's see if that works on the actual input. $12.38. Let's see if that's right. Get in. Let's move on to part 2. just need to use strings of 14 instead of strings of 4. This sounds trivial, and if it is as trivial as I think it is, then day 6 here is a lot easier than day 5 was, which is good, because it's been a long day. I took the day off work, but this is a lot of code to write. I mean, day 3 wasn't that bad, or day 4 wasn't that bad, but day 5 was a little rough. Let's work on the test first and see. See if this works. Oh, okay, yeah. So I will have some extra logic here. Let's call it N2 for part 2. This is going to be 14 character strings instead of 4 character strings, and this will only apply in part 2. So replace all of the n's with N2 in part 2, and let's see what happens. It says 19. So I think, is that the test input? Yeah, that's the test input. So I think I have that. Let's run it on the actual input. $30.37. Let's see if that's right. Get in. Well, that was, now that I have like the template system and the new day script, this thing, I'm able to go through that a lot faster. So like this really wasn't any easier than days 1, 2, or maybe 3. But I have this framework set up now, so I got through that a lot faster in less than 20 minutes. So let's commit that and call it a day. So do I have my stars? There are my stars for day 6. Add my source and my input files. I changed the template a little bit. So I think that's it. I'll confirm that that pushed. Yeah, this isn't a linear ramp up in difficulty, or it's not monotonic. Like day 5 was definitely harder than anything else so far, but to me at least, day 6 was a lot easier than day 5. So there it is, there's the commit. I think that's it for today, so I'll catch you next time.